we're gonna put this thing out and lay this thing out for the long term, because that's really what's been failing. You don't got to go chase. You can go hire an offensive coordinator. Jackson Dart's going to be just fine. You'll develop him as a player, but there's been a ton of defensive-minded head coaches over the last 2 or 3 years that are crushing it.
Obviously, Jackson Dart has given this Giants team a lift, okay? He's out this week. They're going to start Jameis Winston instead because he's in that concussion protocol. But when you look, Peter Schrager joins us now. Marcus Spears back here with us as well. But when you look now at what the Giants should do going forward, do you think they should look to an offensive-minded head coach, one that could service Jackson Dart?
Well, I think this is a $10 billion valuated organization right now, and Jackson Dart is the most important piece to that. So offensive coach is maybe not the right. I would say someone who has Jackson Dart's best interests. That's the primary thing here. And that could be a CEO type coach. That could be a Mike McCarthy who's got an offensive background but can also say, I did with Dak, Rodgers, and of course Favre. I think that Jackson Dart has to be the centerpiece of all of it. So the hot young offensive coordinator, okay, great. We can bring those names in. How do you make this quarterback better? Now, Ben Johnson has done that with Caleb Williams, but we have seen it time and time again where a team just hires the best young hot name at offensive coordinator and it flames out. I think there's going to be a thorough process. I will also add this. John Mara, the Mara family, and the Tisches are pointing to Joe Schoen to kind of lead this thing here, but they have not given Joe Schoen the assurance that he is the GM for the long-term future. So Joe Schoen's involvement will be putting together these candidates, and Joe Schoen will be the one to present these names, and they will interview. But I don't think it's one of these where Joe Schoen is going to be picking them. This will still be the Maras and the Tisches making this decision. John Mara, obviously going through some health things right now, might not be able to do the things that he would in a typical John Mara search. He will be able to have the final say, though.
Joe Schoen comes across as somebody who seems very skilled and very adroit at cultivating relationships. Because there's no way he should still be there as the general manager for the New York Giants.
I was about to say.
Brian Dable was gone. His ass should have been right out the door with Brian Dable. You understand? The way he handled the whole Saquon Barkley thing, it was unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. Really grandstanding, making himself just look completely classless, okay? I know he's had some good picks, don't get me wrong. We see some of them, listen, Neighbors and Abdul Carter, obviously, Dart, and whatever, even though I hear it was Dable that wanted Dart, he really didn't want him. Who knows? All I'm saying is this. Dable ain't the lone villain here in terms of the lack of productivity for the New York Giants. But we also need to say this about the Giants, okay? We don't even know who the hell should be making the decision right now. This is an organization that won the Super Bowl in 2011. Since that time, they've been to the playoffs twice. This is an organization that was once considered in the argument as a gold standard.
No doubt.
They have disintegrated before our very eyes. It is horrible with the New York Giants organization. And I think the thing that's most alarming, whether it's the Maras, it's the Tisches of the world, it's Joe Schoen, whoever, there is nobody that you can look at within the organization and say, hey, we got confidence they can make the decision. Like, nobody from top to bottom. So to me, I just look at it as a very bad situation. I hope they get it together because it's hard to make. Listen, I'm a native New Yorker. Listen, at some point in time, Shay, dog, listen, we're good people. We're good people in New York. I know you're down there in Texas, where I go. We're good people in New York. I go to church, I pay my tithes. I praise the Lord. I try to be a good, decent human being. We don't deserve what we've been subjected to as football fans in New York. We don't deserve this at MetLife Stadium. You think about, they talked about the swamp lands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, how you're smelling the stench driving through the Jersey Turnpike and stuff like that. We all know it's from the football team. There's no other way to slice it, okay? Ain't nobody think about the Nets in Brooklyn. The Knicks are relevant at the Garden, okay? The Yankees and the Mets, at least they give you something to entertain you. All the stench emanating in East Rutherford, New Jersey is from the Jets and the Giants. We don't deserve this. And the New York Giants, of all people, for them to be as bad as they have been, I'm looking at them right now and I'm like, I have no idea who can make the decision. Somebody has.
Are appealing pieces, though, right? Dart gives you confidence. You like Scatterbo.
I like Scatterbo. I like Dart.
And you like the
Neighbors.
fan base.
I like Neighbors a lot. Okay? And hopefully Abdul Carter, Mr. I want Lawrence Taylor's jersey number. I hope that he, elevates his level of play into being that kind of player. So there are some pieces. But in the end, it's very few organizations that you look at and you say from top to bottom, you don't have a clue as to who should make the decision because everybody looks incompetent.
Okay, and that's a fair point. Swagoo, I'll let you get in here. We just pointed out, though, the majority of the players you guys look to are offensive players. Do you think it's important for the Giants to target an offensive-minded head coach?
No, I don't think it's important for them to target offensive-minded head coach. I think it's important for them to target a culture setter. Somebody that's going to come in, first of all, with an opportunity to build an organization. Sometimes the jobs are very much different, right? Like you have certain pieces in New York, what Peter and Stephen A just alluded to, that you can build foundationally from. But this is a mindset with the New York Giants. This is 6 coaches since 2016. There is no continuity. There is nothing about this franchise that says consistency right now. You brought in Russell Wilson. Jameis Winston is going to start quarterback for you this week, obviously because of Dart and the injury and the concussion. You got all of these things going on. And I don't know why the hell they wasn't like this when I was playing for the Cowboys. I wish they would have been this team when I was playing with Dallas, outside of having straight hand and centerpieces is what I mean. The philosophy, the Tom Coughlin toughness. I don't care what the coach is. I don't care if he's a defensive guy, offensive guy, a special teams guy. There needs to be a tone set in New York for the Giants. This is a proud organization, a proud franchise. Sure. And to Stephen A's point, which is the level of concern for me, is that Joe Shane is making a decision with Peters just saying that this is not guaranteed he's going to be the general manager. So what incentive as a head coach do you have when you're going out trying to find these candidates to know that it's going to be some consistency and continuity? Whoever they decide to hire, it needs to be a hire for the long term and give this man an opportunity to build a culture in New York because it's absolutely lost.
They will keep Shane. He traded up to get Dart. That was a great move. Dart's going to be a very good quarterback. He also wanted Drake May last year, so he got the quarterback thing right. Joe Shane is now you're right. Mara's going to make the call at the end of the day.
That's my point.
But Joe Shane is going to give him his candidates, and he'll be the GM. The second thing I would say here, from a coaching perspective, if Mike Vrabel was available, I would hire a Mike Vrabel type, like New England did. He's not an offensive coach necessarily. He's not a defensive coach necessarily. He's a head coach. The trouble is, unless you want McCarthy in here, and Stevie, you and I spent years killing, not years, for you years, me a couple years, killing McCarthy. Penalties and everything else.
We were
not a big.
I thought that was very, very nice.
We were not a big McCarthy. Stop, Steve.
Something's in his cup.
Stop. Steve.
Get him, man, dog. Don't let him lie.
I'm not. I think it's that.
Don't let him lie, man.
Steve. Not today.
Don't let him lie.
Steve, I got 30 seconds. Not today. Not today. Not today. That's not fair. So that means he's the sort of guy you'd have to bring in who's sort of a coach of everything. But a Giant fan going to be happy if it's Mike McCarthy as your head coach? I don't know.
What do you think of Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame?
I think that's possible. I think your Packer defensive coordinator is possible.
Jeff Hafley.
I think the Charger defensive coordinator,
Jesse Minter,
everybody likes him. Yep. I think he's possible.
Jesse
And
Minter,
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a guy that I would think about. He may not have any personality. How about the Seahawk offense?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done a great job with freaking Donald, and he's got his father who won a Super Bowl. How about making a run at him? So, but again, if there was the coach out there who could do it all, I'd hire him. Unless you think